Hare Krishna, dear devotees, Dandapanam, Jai Shri Prabhupada. Okay, so let's start with Mangalacharan. Thank you once again to Ramchandra Prabhu, Pawan Prabhuji, Shriya Mataji for leading the chanting this morning. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna. Okay, we'll sing our prayer. Who would like to sing today? Shriya Mataji, you want to do? Or Meenu Mataji?
Meenu Mataji, if you want to go ahead, you can. Otherwise, I can.
Shriya Mataji, my throat is not fully well yet. So please, thank you.
No.
Please take the service. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Doya Koro More Toma Bina Ke Doyalu Jagat Samsare Patita Pavana Hetu Tava Avatara Musama Patita Prabhu Napai Beara Aha Prabhu Nityananda Premananda Sukhi Kripa Balokana Koro Ami Boro Dukhi Doya Koro Sitapati Advaita Gosai Tava Kripa Bale Pai Chaitanya Nitai Gaura Prema Maya Tanu Pandita Gadadhar Srinivasa Haridasa Doyara Sagara Aha Swarupa Sanatana Rupa Raghunatha Pata Juga Shri Jiva Ha Prabhu Lokanatha Doya Koro Shri Acharya Prabhu Srinivasa Ramachandra Sangama Ge Narottama Dasa Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Shriya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. May I read the translation?
Yes, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Shriya Mataji. Beautiful singing. My dear Lord Chaitanya, please be merciful to me, because who can be more merciful than your Lordship within these three worlds? Your incarnation is just to reclaim the conditioned fallen souls, but I assure you that you will not find a greater fallen soul than me. Therefore, my claim is first. My Lord Nityananda, you're always joyful and spiritual bliss. Since you always appear very happy, I have come to you because I am most unhappy. If you kindly put your glance over me, then I may also become happy. My dear Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita, you are so kind. Please be merciful. If you're kind to me, naturally Lord Chaitanya and Nityananda will also be kind to me. Gaura's love embodiment is shown by Gadadhar Pandita, Srinivas Pandita, and Haridasa Thakura are the ocean of mercy. O Swarupa Damodar, personal secretary of Lord Chaitanya, O six Goswamis, O Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Raghunath Bhatt Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatt Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, O Lokanath Goswami, my beloved spiritual master. Narottam Dasa also prays for your mercy. O Srinivasacharya, successor to the six Goswamis, please be merciful to me. Narottam Dasa always desired the company of Ramachandra Chakravarti. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Meena Mataji. Shri Pratana ki jai, Shri Narottam Das Thakur ki jai, Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Anything you want to share from this? Any reflections from this prayer, Meena
Uh,
Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, the one line I'm always confused about, they talk about Advaita Prabhu, husband of Sita. So,
Mm.
did Advaita Prabhu's wives also name Sita, or are they trying to uh, talk about
Yes.
Rama here?
No, Advaita Acharya.
Okay,
Acharya's wife is also Sita Thakurani. Sita
okay,
Thakurani बोलते हैं उनको चैतन्य
okay,
चरितामृत में आता है
okay,
उनका वर्णन. Yeah, so yeah, her name is also Sita. So
okay,
she was there when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was born because Advaita Acharya was elder in age. So she was kind of friend of Shachi Mata. So
okay.
when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared, then she was very joyful as well. And she raised Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because
Right.
yeah, Advaita Acharya is the incarnation, as we say, of the combined incarnation of Sadashiv, Shivji, and Mahavishnu. So together they came as Advaita Acharya. And then he prayed by his prayers. He used to worship every day Shaligram Shula with Gangajal and used to pray for Lord's advent. So because of his prayers on the banks of Ganges, finally Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared.
Thank you, Prabhuji. So basically, this prayer is it talks about that how fallen, not just the writer, but we all are. And according to my understanding, if you feel you're puffed up, if you feel you are a very big devotee, then Krishna finds a way to humble you. But if you think you're fallen and if you're unworthy of his mercy, then he lifts you up. He uplifts you. And like about 3 days ago, we talked about what is devotion that came in our reading chapters. Devotion is our service to Krishna. Then there's a Uttama Bhakti also. And at the same time, um, what is spirituality? So something I just want to share that, devotion means serving Krishna. Unalloyed devotion means serving him without any desire of mercy, even mercy, right? So spiritual life is also about sensitivity. We need to be sensitive about our dealings with others, in our behavior, in our words, that make sure that our words don't hurt anyone, and in our one's actions, that we need to be kind to everyone, and we need to be in a serving mode always. So this is also right here, Narottam Dasa. He's in a serving mode. He's in a mode of that I am unworthy of your grace. Please lift me up. That's what the prayer is all about. So thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, thank you so much. Yes, wonderful reflection. And yeah, all these acharyas, I mean, if we see, of course, many of their leelas are there in Chaitanya Charitamrita, the six Goswamis, Gadadhar Pandit, the Panchatattva. So yeah, we see, I mean, they are all empowered incarnation, like we said, he's Sadashiv and Mahavishnu combined, and still with how sincerely, with humbly he prays to the Lord to appear. And then the Goswamis, of course, we can write, volumes can be written about their humility. Sanatan Goswami, he walks barefoot on hot sand, this in summer, so that because he's considered himself so fallen that he doesn't want to come in the sight of the Vaishnavas who are worshipping Lord Jagannath. So he goes from the longer route in the sand, and so despite his body being so weak, and same thing with Raghunath Das Goswami. He eats. He's a son of a multi-billionaire of this age, we can say. But he renounces everything, and ultimately uh, he's just eating rice outside Jagannath temple that are just thrown away, to be eaten by cows and animals, and then that one he washes and eats. And Mahaprabhu comes and personally says, you're eating something and you're not sharing with me. And he comes and he also eats it. And so their humility is just, it's incredible. You can't even imagine, despite being. So again, with their again, that's why they are acharyas and they teach us with their achar. Of course, we cannot imitate them, but the point is that, yeah, to be to be an empowered devotee of the Lord, you have to really make yourself humble. And humility comes with humiliation. I think Radhanath Maharaj says that sometimes, like you said, if you get puffed up, Krishna will find a way to humiliate you, get you humiliated. And with humiliation, you will understand humility. So, at least I can speak for myself. Yeah, like I said, I think I gave that example once, and when I was in a class with my Guru Maharaj, and then I felt like I was very puffed. I thought I knew everything, and I thought I knew this, and then I asked a question, Maharaj, the way he responded, I could see this. Yes, that was the attack on pride. So yeah, so Krishna is always very kind on his devotees. He will always protect them. Also, you have to take it in a way that yes, that yeah, this is for my own good. Whatever is happening, ultimately, it's like I was hearing one session by Nitai Sevani Mataji. She was saying that everything that happens in our life is ultimately a letter signed by Krishna. So we have to treat it that way. Anything that comes in our life, that's why we say that Granth Bhagavat, Sant Bhagavat, and Panth Bhagavat. Panth Bhagavat is whatever happens in our life day to day, everything happens by the will and sanction and signature of the Lord. Right? It's a letter signed by the Lord. Um, so that's the reason why anything and everything happens. But yeah, that reminded me that she was in that podcast with Amam Leela Prabhu. She was talking about Prabhupada Leela Amrit. So one thing that he asks her is, again, most of the Grihastha, Vaishnavis, it's so hard to manage time and balance everything. And she's so adept, like she's balancing so many things single-handedly. With she and her husband have grown that whole Vaishakapatnam congregation, building a beautiful temple, and she does so much of preaching. She has raised two wonderful sons. One of them is in IIM Ahmedabad. I think other one is about to become like a chartered accountant, and despite material success, spiritual success, and so much accomplishment. So anyway, so he was asking her about how she balances everything and remains humble. And yes, she was talking about the quality of humility as well. That we have to, like you were just mentioning, sometimes we think from our point of view, but we have to really understand where people are coming from. So we have to. She was really talking about humility and showing empathy. We can show sympathy, but it's very hard to show empathy, where we have to get down to the level of the other person to understand where they are, at what point of they are in their journey, and how we can help them. So that also brings humility. That we should not be that, oh, I am so and so, or I have accomplished so much, right? So it is always looking at. But the good thing that I liked was, yeah, that when Prabhu asked her about what is the one book that she would recommend, and her answer was this book, Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. So she said that how she was as an eighth grade. She was in eighth grade, and she won some competition in school, and the book that she was gifted as a prize from that competition was Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit. And she said, she started reading it, the 6 volumes. She said, like, the whole 6 volumes she read while sitting in her bed under a blanket with torchlight. That's how fascinated she was. And because the next day was school, and her parents would, if they come to know, they will think that she has to go to school. So she read it, and she said every page, every chapter, as she read, her curiosity intensity just kept on growing and growing and growing as to what is going to happen next. And yeah, she said at the end, when it all finished, she just cried and cried and cried with a pillow. And she just prayed that one day, she may also become a soldier in this army of Srila Prabhupada. And she was so glad today, after many, many years, that she has been able to contribute whatever, such a significant way she has contributed, but she thinks that in a very insignificant way. But yeah, that was a good segue. But I like that she's incredibly indebted to Srila Prabhupada. And one of the things that she also said, and that was which something that really resonated, was that, if we read about Srila Prabhupada here, the reason why she loves this book and loves this biography of Srila Prabhupada is because she says that if we read about Srila Prabhupada, then our reverence for Srila Prabhupada will grow, that our respect for Srila Prabhupada will grow as to how much struggle he went through. And when that respect grows, then his instructions will have a deep, deep connection in our heart. Whatever he's saying, we will understand why he's saying what he's saying, right? And that will have a deep impression on our heart. So that was such a very deep point that, it is very, very true. I'm hopeful that, most of us who have been on this journey with Srila Prabhupada Lilamrit will agree that, yes, by reading about Srila Prabhupada's biography, his journey, we have become so much more deeply connected with Srila Prabhupada, and his instructions, are now so potent, and they actually cleanse the consciousness of our heart. So, anyway, thank you, Meera Mataji. All right, so let's continue with chapter 45. Yesterday we saw how Prabhupada was so happy to see this beautiful, beautiful temple being manifested. Again, that's the potency of a pure devotee. He desired that the Lord should appear in this land of Ramanreti, and now a beautiful temple had manifest by the desire of a pure devotee. So chapter 45. Please distribute books. Srila Prabhupada was attending the San Francisco Rath Yatra in 1970. Srila Prabhupada saw the Krishna book. He was very happy with the book. He saw the illustrations and pictures and asked if anyone would like to buy, could take from him after the class. And there were hundreds of people waiting to take the book. In America, devotees started distributing the books, Krishna book and teachings of Lord Chaitanya. And when they actually sold books, they were so happy and ecstatic. Srila Prabhupada was especially happy to hear the book distribution scores. Srila Prabhupada wrote letters encouraging all his disciples to engage in book distribution. I always love this TLC. I don't know, for those who are familiar, there's a TLC in Kroger, the Little Clinic. And this is my department where I work in Kroger. So I always connected back to teachings of Lord Chaitanya. I was very happy when I first got assignment in TLC. I felt, oh, this is good. Now I can read teachings of Lord Chaitanya with TLC. Then there's another system in Kroger Health and Pharmacy we call as EPRN. EPRN for the application that most of you who, if you take a prescription from Kroger Pharmacy, the system that the technicians and pharmacists work on, that is a system also that my teams and I help build and sustain. So that is also nice. It's called EPRN, and I connected to Ek Prabhu Radhanath. So Kroger Health, Kroger, of course, as I've already joked, Kroger is also Krishna's. Krishna, oh Gopinath, Eknath, Radhanath. So everything connected with Kroger is spiritualized. So that's one way to always connect things back to the Lord. As Rupa Goswami says, Yena kena prakarena mana Krishna niveshayet. So in whatever way, you should always try to remember Krishna. So that's one way. So we try to connect everything to the Lord. Srila Prabhupada said Sankirtan and street chanting should go on as the background of Krishna consciousness preaching. Srila Prabhupada said, we should chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra for 2 hours, study congregationally every day Srila Prabhupada's books for 2 hours, or listen to Srila Prabhupada's lectures. Go out on Sankirtan and preach to others. In one of the letters, Srila Prabhupada wrote, what would your 3 minutes preaching do? If they buy a book, it will turn their life. Srila Prabhupada was very pleased when a traveling party was started in England. They went to the new areas, camped there for a few days, and distributed Krishna book. On December 22nd, 1972, the Christian December Marathon was founded in Los Angeles. Rameshwar Prabhu distributed so many books at the malls that were open till midnight, and then he was happy with his book distribution and wanted to inform at the temple, and he reached the temple at 10 minutes to 11 to find that he was the first one back. Everyone else was still distributing Srila Prabhupada's books. This way, 3-day marathon was done, December 22, 23, 24. They distributed 5,000, 6,000 Srila Prabhupada's books, back to Godhead magazines during this period. Hari Bol. Srila Prabhupada wrote back to Rameshwar Prabhu that it was scarcely believable that 17,000 books were sold in 3 days, and that he was so pleased with the devotees in Los Angeles. One day, Tripurari Prabhu returned when Rameshwar Prabhu was giving class, and they were so excited. After Prabhu finished the class, they announced Prabhu had distributed 17 hardbound, unabridged Bhagavad Gitas. Then he started distributing Srimad Bhagavatam in the airports and distributed 6 volumes of Srimad Bhagavatam at once. Srila Prabhupada loved the Los Angeles garden and wanted a garden at the rooftop in Mayapur. Once upon receiving the book distribution scores, Srila Prabhupada was so happy that he immediately dictated a letter saying that Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur would be so pleased and would bestow blessings 1,000 times more than Srila Prabhupada himself. Prabhupada got Tamal Krishna Goswami to draft a letter which he signed as approved that Kanthi, Tilak, Dhoti, and Shikha were essential for preaching, while they could dress up as a gentleman in coat and pant. Srila Prabhupada said any further clarification on this could be obtained from GBC as his representative, as he wanted to focus on writing Srimad Bhagavatam translations and commentaries. On getting a lot more queries, Srila Prabhupada wrote, one should learn the art of selling books without irritating. If he goes away by your aggressive tactics, then it is your failure. Sell many books, but without irritating the public. In November 1973, ISKCON New York broke all records and distributed 13,200 literatures. Srila Prabhupada was asked what should they tell to distribute books. Srila Prabhupada suggested telling this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam 1.3.43. Krishna Swadhamupagate Dharma Jnana Dibhis Saha Kalau Nasta Drisham Isha Puranarko Dinoditaha. When Lord Krishna left the spiritual world with all knowledge and religious principles, Srimad Bhagavatam has risen as the shining lamp of knowledge to give people religion in this age of darkness. In 1974, Tripurari Prabhu formed the BBT Sankirtan party with leading book distributors who distributed at airports, and Srila Prabhupada was so pleased with Tripurari Prabhu that he called him the incarnation of book distribution. Then Tamal Krishna Goswami started the Radha Damodar Sankirtan party with Vishnu Jan Swami, taking Radha Damodar deities to go on Sankirtan all around the USA. Srila Prabhupada wrote back that book distribution was more important than anything else. Then the focus of the Radha Damodar Sankirtan party shifted completely to book distribution to please Srila Prabhupada. By Srila Prabhupada's mercy, the party distributed 50,000 big books in a single month. Srila Prabhupada favored the party and also arranged for loans for expansion and called it the moving temples. When there was transcendental competition between TKG, Tamal Krishna Goswami's party, and Tripurari Prabhu's party, Srila Prabhupada watched and approved it with great pleasure. One more party, BBT Library Party, was also formed to distribute Srila Prabhupada books in universities in England, and they met with great success, and they started receiving standing orders. Srila Prabhupada liked this program and asked them to increase up to 50,000 orders from such libraries. Another party, Namahatta, also was formed in 1974. When Srila Prabhupada was ill, he said that the book distribution scores were his best medicine and he gets strength from these scores. Srila Prabhupada said book distribution was an important means to even keep up the finances of the temple. In early 1973, the German Bhagavad Gita was printed, and Srila Prabhupada encouraged translation of Bhagavad Gita and all books into foreign languages: Spanish, German, Russian, French, Japanese, Chinese, et al. In India, book distribution was introduced as part of life membership programs, where life members could stay at the ISKCON guest houses for free for some days in a year. Srila Prabhupada advised that the funds collected from book distribution across the world should be divided 50% for BBT and 50% for temple construction and projects. While Srila Prabhupada encouraged competition, he also mentioned the attitude of proper transcendental competition. Our competition is how to please Krishna more and more. The quickest way to catch Krishna's attention is to direct another person to Krishna consciousness. Srila Prabhupada said, and that impelled further distribution of books at the best means to attract everyone to Krishna. On April 20th, 1975, Srila Prabhupada installed the deities for the grand opening of Krishna Balaram temple at Vrindavan. Next agenda was to publish 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita in 2 months. Srila Prabhupada gave instruction to Rameshwar Prabhu and Radha Vallabh Prabhu to get this done. When someone said impossible, Srila Prabhupada said impossible is the word in a fool's dictionary. Srila Prabhupada agreed to give all possible help, answers to their queries on the painting, text, and they agreed that it could be done in 2 months' time. The printing of 17 volumes of Chaitanya Charitamrita and got to work. Big task at hand. Chapter 5. Yes, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai. In April 1972, Surabhi Prabhu drew the design of proposed Krishna Balaram temple based on the Radha Govind Mandir that Srila Prabhupada liked, with its nice open courtyard and front steps leading to the deity darshan area. On April 20th, 1975, Srila Prabhupada installed the deities for the ground opening of Krishna Balaram temple at Vrindavan. Haribo. This is the outer view, or as we enter. Yeah, this side we have Srila Prabhupada's Samadhi and the museum. And as we enter here into the altar room, we see that picture that we saw yesterday, the courtyard where the tamal tree is there, and then eventually inside is the altar. For those who have not visited yet, it's a good inspiration to next time you go to India, you can visit Vrindavan and Sri Sri Krishna Balaram temple. Oh, Balaramji, who is the giver of Bal, yesterday we were reading as Nityananda Prabhu, as Balaram. Prabhupada was saying the prayer, he's the one who provides Bal to everything. But here you see his hand is his hand is resting on Krishna. So he draws his Bal also from here. So yeah, even though he's supporting the entire universe as a Ananta Shesha, but his power, he himself is taking support of Krishna by putting his arms around on his shoulder. Yeah, April 1972 to April 1975. Very nice. 3 years from concept to reality. Right, so it was very nice that how much of hard work again it takes. We can see, we've been trying, to get a temple, but yeah, there's so many roadblocks and hurdles. But yeah, and again, it is all, like we said, everything that happens by the sanction of the Lord, right? So everything that happens in our life, there is a reason, there is a teaching why Krishna wants us to endeavor. Right? Everything, it's not that we want something and it will happen. No, we have to keep doing our duty, as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. Right? But the end result, we have to leave it to him. So he knows when the perfect time is, when the perfect situation is, when we are perfect, spiritually in our hearts, to actually have a temple, and temple will manifest. But that doesn't mean that we have to become lazy. We should continue to endeavor. We have to continue to endeavor to become sincere, to continue to endeavor to grow our own creeper of devotional service in our hearts, grow our Bhaktilata Bij by properly watering the seed with Shravanam and Kirtanam. As Prabhupada was saying today, we have to chant for 2 hours. We have to study these books very carefully, attentively, sincerely, in association with each other. That is the best way. Not like, everybody can read individually at home. We can all find time and do it in our own way. But again, that is good. But the better thing and the best thing is to do it in the association of the devotees together, because that also helps build our own bonds between each other, helps us grow together. Right? When we are together, as we say, Prabhupada always said that one stick can be easily broken, but when the sticks are together, if you tie them together, then it is very hard to break those sticks. So anything that we do, we try to do it together. That is the best. Yeah, a lot of other things. That was again the same message that, like I shared in the group. Amarendra Prabhu also mentioned the same thing, that we should try to do things together. As a congregation, he always encourages local temple congregations to chant together, to read together. And yeah, so we see that message is actually directly coming from Srila Prabhupada, as we just read today. But yeah, how much of book distribution these devotees did, Prabhupada is inspiring them to go on. So he would also say again, like this mercy of Prabhupada, this empowerment comes when you follow the instructions properly, right? So Prabhupada would say to them, mostly he would say that, yeah, you chant, like all these devotees who went out to distribute, of course, most of them were brahmacharis and people living in the temples and ashrams. So for them, that was the duty. The 8 hours that we go to work, they were going 8-10 hours outside to do Harinam Sankirtan, to distribute these books. But they were also doing that only after finishing their own personal sadhana. So this was something that Prabhupada always emphasized, that they finish their personal round of chanting the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, before they went out to perform their seva. So whatever our seva may be, we should not forget our sadhana. Sadhana is the bedrock, the foundation. And not just chanting, but chanting attentively. That is the key word. Again and again, it's very, 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 I'd like to emphasize that chanting is good, but chanting attentively is the best. If we really want to make progress, you have to chant attentively with full focus. And that full focus can only come when we are not distracted. And when we are not distracted, when we are not in the time zones of passion and ignorance, which is outside of Brahma Muhurta time. So we chant attentively in the mode of Shuddha Sattva. We make progress. We are able to kind of boost our bhakti. And then we can do our seva, whatever seva, we are empowered to do, whatever we are inclined to do by Lord's mercy. We can do our seva very nicely. So, and then preaching, again, preaching is not just like Prabhupada says here, what would your 3 minutes of preaching do? So 3 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes, whatever we give a class, that is not preaching. That is not the only preaching. That is one of the many, many ways that we can do preaching. Preaching is just by doing our seva, how we are doing our services sincerely. Everything, again, we are doing sincerely, seriously, selflessly. That is preaching. Because by our actions speak louder than our words. So what we do in our lives actually is a bigger form of preaching, if that inspires others to get connected to Krishna. So how we and not just at temple but even at our home, because again, ultimately the reason why we go to temple is so that we can make our homes as a temple. So what we do at home, how we behave with each other, how we interact with other devotees, how we do our services, and all of these are ways that we can preach. Sometimes, like Radhanath Maharaj very nicely says, that preaching is 24-hour activity, and sometimes you have to open your mouth, right? So it's not about opening your mouth to give a class. That is not preaching. That is not the only preaching. That is actually just one of the many, 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 many forms of preaching that we can do. So our Sadachar, actually, as Radheshyam Prabhu was listening to one class, he was saying that, like, he was referring to one South Indian sannyasi acharya who was mentioning this example of Siddhanta and Sadachar. So Siddhanta is philosophy. Siddhanta is knowledge, right? So Siddhanta is like can be compared to eyes. We have eyes. Without eyes, we cannot see. Similarly, without Siddhanta, without reading Prabhupada's books, without understanding the philosophy, we cannot understand where we have to go, right? But again, that alone is not sufficient. You have to back it up or pair it up with Sadachar. Sadachar is how you actually imbibe those values, how you actually enact those values, right? So just somebody has just knowledge, but they're very arrogant and they're full of pride. Will anybody want to listen to them? No. And as soon as you hear somebody like that, you will start feeling hatred towards that person, right? Saying that, okay, he's so boastful, so bright, so arrogant, right? So nobody wants to listen to an arrogant person. So just having knowledge, just having Siddhanta is not enough. You have to have the you have sadachar, values, your achar based on your behavior, how you actually implement those values in your life and become a better person. So with sadachara, he was saying sadachara is like the legs. So just having eyes, you can see, yes, but without legs, with the legs only you can actually walk, and you can actually walk the talk and go to the destination that we have to go, right? So yeah, Sadachar is actually more important. But yeah, it has to be based on Siddhanta. So like that. Okay. All right. Anything else anybody would like to share?
Yes, Prabhu. Well, you were mentioning about, Nitai Sevini Mataji's and Amogdala Prabhu's podcast. I also, heard the entire one. And it was really, there were so many points which were really eye-opening, where she said, if you remember, she said like, she quoted somebody from the old Bollywood movie where she mentioned that the villain says that I'll kill you, but samay bhi mera hoga, goli bhi meri hogi, something like that. And
Yeah.
she also says that Krishna is just like that, that he will test your patience, he'll give it to you, but he has the control when to give it to you. So you just need to have patience and just need to focus on your what you can do for him, and when the time will come, he will give it to you. Yeah, so that was really nice, when she said. And also she mentioned about one of her favorite words from Srimad Bhagavatam, about Bhishma when he was leaving his body, um, that he says that, when he was leaving, that Krishna, wait for me, when I quit this body. And she mentioned that his bhakti was so strong that he could tell Krishna that wait for me. So we need to learn from him, and we need to develop our bhakti, that one day we can say to Krishna that just wait for me when I leave the body. So yeah, it was really beautiful. I would recommend everybody to watch that. Really nice one.
Yeah. Maybe you can share that link to in the book reading group,
Sure,
Srimati.
sure, Prabhu.
You can watch that. Yes, it's very, yeah, it's worth watching. I just came across it, and sometimes, so again, these things, there is so much content on YouTube and everything, right? But sometimes, this is Krishna's reciprocation. He will show his love, like somehow. First of all, you have to get to those videos, and then you have to have the desire to actually see them. so, so it's inspiring to see that. Yeah, you also heard the same thing, but. Um, yeah, like what you said, that is very true, because as a devotee, we think, we are serving the Lord. But actually, Krishna takes more pleasure in serving his devotees. Like, that's why we say, Prabhupada says, you take, one step, he takes 100 steps towards you. So, Vishmadev's bhakti was so pure, yes, that, he could order Krishna that, at my last moment, don't ditch me, right? Be there with me. And, he was there with him. So, that is the reciprocation, and because love is not one-way street, right? Love is two-way street. So we think we are loving the Lord, but actually he is loving us more back. And that is actually, I was listening to another lecture of Srila Prabhupada, and he mentioned exactly this point, that love is reciprocation. The reciprocation that you feel from Krishna, that is love. We think we are loving him, but he is actually loving us back more. So that is what he does with his pure devotees. So yeah, hopefully one day, by practicing, by following the instructions of these pure devotees, we can also slowly remove our ignorance, our covering of Maya and ignorance, and try to become some level, even if it is not 99.99%, carat pure gold, we can at least become, we can at least advance to some extent. Yes, thank you so much for sharing that. Yeah. Okay, anything else from anybody? All right. Thank you so much by kind association. And we'll pause here. And for those who are in Cincinnati, we will see you all this evening for our weekly Saturday spiritual program. And today's topic is also very nice. It's transcendental book distribution, what we just read about today. Prabhupada was so happy with that. So, all right. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyaiva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha anantakoti vaishnavvrinda ki jai Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki jai Nitai Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bol.
Hari Hari Bo. Hari
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Krishna.